So shelters, ticket vending machines, and other things. Okay. In downtown, it's simply too narrow to have bus lanes, so we've never proposed them. We feel that with the amount proposed here, that we still get a good, high-quality ride for the users. And then south of downtown, beginning at Blossom, we had proposed dedicated bus lanes all the way to Bayfair Center. What we've done, though, is we've eliminated the southbound lane just north of 150th Avenue. And what that allows us to do is to eliminate the traffic impacts we had right here, which you are very well aware of, that oddball triangle where Hesperian comes in on 150th. It also allows us to preserve parking on the street there. Again, this also, it still maintains a high quality of service, but because it's a solid median with the bus lanes and the landscaping, it does create some minor inconveniences in this neighborhood. But overall, in general, a safer neighborhood. So there were some issues with the median that was raised by the public, and this centered around the safety of pedestrians and the ability of cars to navigate the neighborhood. So what we've done is we've created breaks in the median, sometimes where there's BRT stations and sometimes where there aren't, to allow people to make U-turns, left turns. And we've also proposed a median in the middle, between the bus lanes, that's about 12 feet wide, so it allows you to put full-size landscape trees, etc. It increases the general attractiveness of the neighborhood. We hope you agree with that. To keep the pedestrian access, whenever the city has proposed a crosswalk or there's one in place, we allow those crosswalks to remain where they are. So one of the issues raised, I think, besides parking, traffic was the number 2 issue. And this documents about how much delay cars versus the savings in time that accrue to bus riders. So if you just take, let's say, downtown to San Leandro Hospital, for instance, currently, if you're driving, it takes about 4 minutes. If you put in BRT that takes away some of the traffic capacity, it rises to a little bit over 5 minutes for that trip. And you can see some comparisons with others. For the bus, on the other hand, you see that same trip takes almost 12 minutes, but with BRT it takes a little less than 8 minutes. So there's a huge benefit that accrues to transit passengers, but a relatively small inconvenience to motorists. So here's a summary of the negative impacts or the trade-offs of the project. So there's minor parking losses along East 14th, no parking losses on Cross Street or in private lots, just on East 14th itself. There's slightly longer travel times for drivers. Some motorists in some neighborhoods would have to have out-of-direction travel to make a U-turn or a left turn at another street. And there's some access restrictions that this project would require. But in general, that's sort of the extent of the negatives. Okay. So in summary, the benefits, when you look at air quality, fostering transit-oriented life and transit-oriented development, BRT is environmentally superior to just the local bus and reliance on cars. BRT is the only mode identified in the Kyoto Protocols as a technology that reduces carbon dioxide emissions. We think BRT could provide an alternative to the car, primarily by being faster and more reliable, and also more attractive. Also, BRT changes the entire environment, so people on foot or on bike have a more pleasant experience. And then finally, given AC Transit's financial problems, it allows us to preserve our operating efficiency, not just today, but well into the future. All right. So in 2007, 2008, here's a summary of what we did. So We reduced the amount of dedicated lanes north of Dutton. We've made adjustments to station locations and the extent of lanes so that the parking loss is such that there's always parking available approximately when and where you need it. This means keeping a 15% vacancy rate, which is usually viewed as by businesses as not forcing your customers to drive around the block, but there's parking very close by. And that's in all locations in San Leandro. We've made no changes in downtown. We've added some left turn lanes and through lanes to help the traffic flow better, so that today, this project that we're bringing to you today, all of the intersections meet the city guidelines for delays and level of service. We've changed the pattern in the north and in the south to better fit with San Leandro's plans. And finally, this is an ongoing effort by AC Transit. We're reevaluating the east-west connections to make sure that they both feed the BRT system, feed BART, and provide better community circulation in general. So what's next? Right. So here we are on the far left. Like Kathleen mentioned, each city is providing AC Transit with their own locally preferred alternative that we eventually knit together into a cohesive and intelligent project. So this is the process. Public feedback is happening now in all 3 cities. By the spring of next year, we're hoping to have a plan that's modified and refined, go before the city councils for a decision, so that locally preferred alternative can then be analyzed thoroughly in a final environmental impact report. And then our detailed designs would begin shortly after that. Construction could begin as early as 2012 with completion in 2015. So the cost of this project, 17 miles, it's $234 million. Compared to BART is about $136 million per mile. It's relatively economical in the world of transportation. The funds come from a variety of sources, including local sales tax, bridge tolls, and the federal government and the state. Just to let everyone know that our board is looking at actually taking some of the money from this project to restore local service, so the cuts that are anticipated next year will not be as dire. Where that leaves us, we're not exactly sure, but we'll keep the staff and city councils apprised of the budget issue. Okay.